Can you dig it?
Don't you love these intimate gatherings? Welcome, if you will, our Master of Ceremonies, James Hinkle.
Have mercy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wildcatter Exchange Radio Hour. Many of you know this as the old Caravan of Dreams. Many great artists that have come through this building, and we are so honored to be a part of this continuing history. Dr. John, Leon Russell, Taj Mahal. We actually were on the same bill as Stefan Grappelli one night. There was also a recording studio in here, and Roland, Shannon Jackson, Ornette Coleman, Eartha Kitt have done recordings out of here. They've done some spoken word things with William S. Burroughs and Johnny Dolphin and Timothy Leary. So it's a great honor to be here, and without further ado, let's have a little word from one of our sponsors, Roofing Solutions.
If you are like most people, you love your stuff. You certainly don't want your precious stuff exposed. And what is the biggest protector of all your stuff? Not some rinky-dink alarm system. And it's not your door locks. It's your roof. And there are lots of things that want to damage your roof. Tree limbs, critters, wind, hail, lightning. The dreaded acts of nature.
It's not nice to mess with Mother Nature.
What are you going to do when one of these dangers damages your protector, your roof? Call Roofing Solutions by Darren Houck. Immediately, and Darren Houck will come to you, lickety-split, and assess your situation.
Let me see.
Before, and even Mother Nature
You've been a naughty, naughty roof.
Can further damage your precious stuff. Roofing Solutions will get right to work. Putting your roof back to work, protecting you, your family, and of course, your stuff.
Call me, Darren Houck of Roofing Solutions at 817-692-8496, or visit our website at roofingsolutionsHouck.com, and we'll fix you up with impact-resistant composition shingles that will protect your prized possessions and save you money.
Nice to know that. Well, Fort Worth has this tradition, and I personally think it's something in the water, that we have so many creative people come out of here or that migrate here and live in our fair city. And there's many institutions in town, some of them are still here, some of them are gone, that impact the lives of us that are here. And tonight, we're going to have a story from a young man, David Ellis, and his partner, Susan Ridgely. It's called Save the Wreck. Now, I have a story about the wreck. I'm just going to throw this out there real quick before we get into his story. But years ago, I was doing a benefit for another Fort Worth institution, the Hip Pocket Theater. Yes, that was a plug. Back in the day when Joe Dooley owned the White Elephant. And we had done a benefit fundraiser. Thing was over, and then the caterers were getting ready to throw out all this barbecue chicken. So I go to him and I said, hey man, what are you gonna do with this chicken? And I said, where are we gonna toss it? I mean, we can't resell it. And I said, well, can I have it? And they went, yeah, sure, take it. So we got garbage bags, put all this barbecue chicken in there with my equipment in the back of the truck. I drive down to the rec room, go in. Lee Allen and Carl Pack are working the bar, and there's a band going on. And I go, guys, are y'all hungry? And they went, sure, Hinkle, what do you got? I said, I'll be back. I come in with these bags, trash bags, mind you, of barbecue chicken. The stage clears, everybody comes out from the back. I don't know what they're doing in the beer garden back there. It was like a piranha feeding frenzy. That's just one story from the rec room, and there were years of these things. So now, without further ado, may I present David Ellis and Susan Ridgely with God Save the Wreck.
West 7th Street. You know, I don't really come down here anymore. You see, the landscape starts speaking to me, and things gone, they kind of come creeping back, like they're looking for some kind of revenge, you know? It just gives me chills and that heart attack feeling.
What are you talking about, man?
And I wish you were around back then.
When?
Then, you know, when the rec room was around.
What's that?
What?
Rec room?
When did you get here?
To Texas?
To Fort Worth.
2010?
Oh, okay then. No wonder.
What?
Well, it was gone by then.
The
rec room.
The rec room. Was it like a pub or like a speakeasy, Viper room kind of place?
Well, it was a stage and a sound system and people. See, lots of things are gone now that were so a part of our city then.
What happened to those things?
Gone, just different ways gone. 7th Street, it's gone.
Well, aren't we on 7th Street?
No.
This isn't 7th Street?
Nope.
Well, the signs and GPS say.
7th Street, which where Past Perfect is. The old thrift store. It's like nothing you've ever seen. There was an old VW van in there. 7th Street Theater, that old movie house, historical as anything. It's bulldozed, gone. I saw the Warriors in that theater. I saw the freaking Goonies there. All right? See, it's gone. Y'all remember the Hideaway? Gone. That old bar, it had a fireplace in it. Kind of like the Regal Beagle, you know, from Three's Company. There's always some slick Mr. Furley dude in there chatting up the lovelies. Well, that 7th Street, it's gone. It's disappeared. It's eaten up by the monsters of the city's future. You see, that monster finally came and it took all of our places away. Stole them. Stole them like the last storm.
In the rec room?
Swallowed up by those same monsters. Just ate it all up. It didn't matter the souls at stake. You see, music, it can make you laugh. It can make you cry. It can make you angry. It can make you sad. Tragic. It was right here.
Right here?
Yeah.
So were you a regular there?
No. I was more like an outside observer. But see, every time I was there, it was like an unforgettable moment in my life. And towards the end, around 2006, I started to go more often, and there was some kind of spirit there, this intangible thing, this entity, this being. It was like a ghost that encompassed the souls of all the bands, all the musicians that played there, all the people that wandered in there. You see, the rec room, it had that. Certain places, they just have it, this living, breathing union that just defines it.
Sounds like more than just a groovy scene.
It was about the look in men's eyes when they played music. It was about Jesse's art on the walls. It was about the way Tammy and Claudia would vibrate as they let their poetry loose. God, you would have loved to hear them wail. You know, it was about the look in Massey's eyes when he was in the zone with them, you know, and the people. There's Carl and Dre and Graham. Oh, and Jesus, the bands. You wouldn't believe the bands I saw there. There was Slowro and Dusu and Stugophilia and Bindle and Goodwin and Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum and Archie Bunker and Darren Kolbich and Baboon and Pinkston and Sub Oslo and that time that Cato Nash played. And Wood Eye. Freaking Wood Eye. And the Wednesday Night Jam Cats. And watching Ken Shiamoto play guitar. That I will never forget. Just watching him play. I felt like I was in the presence of some old wizard, you know? Some kind of old magic left over from a long gone wizard's dream. That was Ken. And I'm happy. And I am thankful that I got to witness that powerful entity called the record.
I wish I could have experienced it.
You know, it would have been cool to have just gotten swallowed up with the place, you know, just to be gone with the wreck. Part of it forever, all through time and history and whatever stories or legends or songs became of that place. You see, I don't deserve that kind of majesty, but a lot of people do.
Somebody who didn't experience all that might see the wreck as just another club that got closed down.
Well, yeah, they'd be right.
So
Sorta.
So you think there's some kind of energy here?
I really don't know about things like that. What do you think?
Well, I think everything has an energy, something it leaves behind.
I just see a bunch of retail shops.
You know, this is a pretty part of town.
Yeah, but you really weren't.
I know, I wasn't here.
Here. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Fort Worth people are weird. Every one of you.
How so?
It's a passion thing. You'll get so passionate about your people, your music, your places, your history, legends and myths, the stories of here. There's no halfway for a Panther City person. All or nothing, live or die, straight to the end.
Stories are forever, baby.
You'll have to forgive me. That was Rob Vasquez and Susan Ridgely, not David Ellis. I am David Ellis. It's like when you're walking and you see a curb coming and you still miss it. That's what that was kind of like for me. Anyway, next up, we have a very talented young man. I've had the opportunity to play with him on several occasions, Mr. Darren Kopetich. I think I probably first saw Darren 20 years ago at the satellite dish in the little room. You were playing like on a weeknight, and that was the first time I saw you. You had long hair, and you were playing some, crazy tuning stuff. Well, since that time, Darren and I have become very good friends. Not only is he an incredible musician, but he's a very talented visual artist as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Mr. Darren Kopetich. Darren Kobatich. Not bad for a Fort Worth boy. And just informed me backstage that I am not David Ellis, but I am in fact James Hinkle. So now that we're on the good foot, I talked earlier about the Hip Pocket Theater. That's where I had my very first gig. A good friend, David Yackel, called me and said, a soon-to-be good friend, Don Arnett, was out of town and he couldn't do the music before the show. And they knew that I played guitar and sang some folk tunes, so they asked me to come out. And, you know, they just encouraged a life of, you know, art, creativity, and all the things that go with that. And there's people that do things for the theater when the lights are down. You've got your actors and your directors and producers, and of course the fans that come out and see the show and support it and make it happen. But when the lights go down and there's work to be done, there's this elusive thing called the theater fairy. They're in need of one here because, you know, the trash, you got to pick everything up, you got to make it look ready for the next show. You don't see them very often. It's hard to find one to catch it and then to get them to come out because they don't like the spotlight. But through a special arrangement with Johnny and Deanne, we've got the theater fairy from the Hip Pocket Theater. I'm going to have to coax her out. Y'all be quiet. Don't say anything. She's a little shy.
Hello! James!
Yes.
I don't want to mess up your lovely kid, how are you?
I'm
Hi,
fine.
everyone!
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hip Pocket Theater Fairy. We're so glad that you braved the elements to come out and be with us tonight.
What can I say? It's the theater's fault.
Yes, well. So can you tell the audience here in the studio and at home what it is that the Theater Fairy does?
What I do?
Yeah.
My duties.
Yes.
Good thing I made a list.
Oh, good. That's a nice.
I made a list
That's a
here.
nice little list. You know, we're on a
It's
time
cute.
limit,
And,
right?
The title of the list is actually The Duties of the Hip Pocket Theater Fairy.
That is a nice list.
Would you like to know a few things on the list?
Lay it on me, sister.
Number 1, organize and label absolutely everything. Color code every scrap of fabric and all costumes housed inside an actual abandoned train car. Then I fill potholes with gravel in 112-degree weather. I haul wood from our very own lumberyard, where you can find every set piece from 1976. I am not kidding, guys. I also use duct tape to beautify and repair all dead trees for their ultimate vitality. I attend conferences, meetings, networking events, fundraisers, birthday parties, nursing homes, corporate seminars, and Tuesday tea times with Betty and the Bridge Girls. I also enjoy creating proposals for the 3,000 projects I'd like to single-handedly accomplish before our season opens, June 5th, 2015. That is June 5th. 2015. Visit hippocket.org for more information. You can also get season tickets, 50% off right now. So,
Wow.
one more thing. Call 817-246-9775. Thank you. That's 817-246-9775. And one more time, 817-246-9775. Thank you.
Opening day, June 5th, is that correct?
Yes.
Well, you know, we're so glad that you could come and share this with us. Now, I've got a question, because growing up out in Lake Worth, I was wondering, you're out the theater, have you ever had a chance to meet the Lake Worth Monster? The Hip Pocket Theater Fairy, ladies and gentlemen. Growing up in Lake Worth, in our neighborhood in the 60s, we had older boys, and they taught us how to play football. They taught us how to hunt crawfish and feed them to their pet alligator. That's a different story. You'll have to, that's in the next edition. But they made monsters. So when I was a kid, the Lake Worth monster in our neighborhood, later on we found out it was Jimmy Irby and Randy Green. They had a suit that they would wear. It was waders, a long yellow raincoat, and then a papier-mâché dragon head. And the whole premise of this is, no one had fences in their backyards, so you had the porch light on, and where I lived was right at the corner of Azle Avenue and Boat Club Road. So it was just field in the old Charbonna haunted house. Well, they told us the only way to get away from the monster was to go to the darkest part of our yard. Well, once you got there, they had yet another monster, the Cyclops, that was stuck, or someone would carry it, and it was an old red hoodie with a single welder's goggle eye on it. And they would run past your window, and they would just scare the living crap out of us. Playing football one time, I wasn't blocking hard enough because we had neighborhood football teams. And since I wasn't blocking hard enough and I back-talked one of them, it seems like child abuse now, but back in the 60s, this is just the way you grew up. I had all my football stuff on. They chased me down, they roped me and tied me to the mailbox and told all my friends, if you let him go, we're gonna do the same thing to you. So for about 30 minutes, I was tied to a mailbox. My friends were circling me on their bicycles, going, sorry, man. Those are just some Fort Worth characters. And those are the things that make us who we are and give us that sense of community. And who'd have thought that 50 years later I'd be sharing stories? I'm sure Jimmy Irby would be like, really? Actually, I saw his sister the other night at a gig, Patty, and I told her, I'm going to tell the story about the... So anyway, next up, sharing some Panther City stories, I believe, is the real David Ellis.
Are you quite certain? Are you sure? I hope so. David Ellis and I will be telling you Panther City stories. They are stories that are unashamedly, unabashedly, and undeniably about our city, Fort Worth. Oh, now, if you think for 1 minute that you're going to be hearing a long historical tutorial on the interesting and powerful men that made this city what it is, no, you're not. Yeah, they built some interesting buildings in this town, and they started some interesting institutions. But with Panther City Stories, you are more apt to hear the stories about the poor girls who worked as prostitutes in those buildings in Hell's Half Acre. And maybe how they died from overdoses where they killed themselves from a life of depression and sorrow. You're apt to hear about people who started restaurants and lost restaurants and started them again and lost fortunes and made fortunes and lost them again. See, Panther City Stories are stories that are about not so much that goes on in the mighty raging river, but what's taking place on the banks. That's where the real story is. So you're not going to get a history lesson from me. You can thank me now. Thank you. Oh, yeah. You're too kind. But there is one ingredient to make a good Panther City story. It's in every story that we have been told growing up, and it's the entertainment value of a Panther City story. It's the cement that holds a Panther City story together, and it's, well, even though this is Sunday, I have to say it because it's very true, that ingredient is bullshit. Now, there are different kinds of bullshit, and some of you are saying, Well, now, isn't that an untruth? Isn't that a lie? No, it's not. A lie has its foundation in negativity. A lie is meant to hurt. A lie is meant to destroy, to harm. Whereas bullshit, 9 times out of 10, bullshit is, well, it comes from a good place, basically. It tries to tell you kind of what you want to hear. And in a lot of cases, it has entertainment value. Now, with a Panther City story, especially when Fort Worthers are talking to each other, there's kind of an entertainment value if the bullshitter is entertaining the bullshittee. And they are both looking at each other like, that's pretty good bullshit. So, here it is a Sunday. We are in the places where the ghosts of some mighty churches once stood. And so we have to either excise the devil that I have brought upon you, or we can learn to live with it. And there's only one way we can say that. On the count of 3, I want everybody in your best voice to say bullshit. 1, 2, 3. Bullshit! One more time. 1, 2, 3. Bullshit! Oh, yes. Now, we're going to add a little Western swing to it. We're going to put twang in it. We're going to say it the way we say it in Fort Worth. Bullshit. 1, 2, 3. Bullshit. That's good bullshit. We're going to talk about people that are in this town, and I hope that we continue to do this, that, you're going to ask yourself, is that true? Or is that bullshit? God, you guys are on it. We're going to talk about places, schools. Now, the schools were not places where those that went on to great feats in this history of our land, but was a place where kids learned how to bullshit. And the bullshit that came out of our schools was magnificent. I know, because I grew up in those schools. We are going to talk about people like one of my favorites. And as a gentleman, this is no bullshit. It was a gentleman that my grandmother knew back in the 30s. His name was Tiffin Hall. How many of you in here know who Tiffin Hall is? If you ever ate at a Mexican Inn, you have Tiffin Hall to thank. But even more so, if you had gambled in the city of Fort Worth back in the heyday of gambling, you probably had the good fortune to sit in on one of Tiffin Hall's games, because at the Mexican Inn over here on Commerce and 5th, the first Mexican Inn, but upstairs was gambling. Dice, cards, you name it, he had it. And he was also smart enough to include judges and district attorneys in on his game. And there was a chief of police or two that got involved in those games. But what I really admired about him was this marketing strategy he had. One time he had this gentleman who was winning real big at the craps. But then his fortunes went down as the time went. And plus also his liquor went up. Well, at the end of the night, he was tapped. And he said, Tiffin, I'm tapped, I'm drunk, and all I got is this little place going out toward Lake Worth. I got some livestock. He says, oh yeah, well, what do you got? He said, I got chickens, got goats, got a few cows, got my little pet burro, Pete. Burro? He said, yeah, it's a burro. Bring him in. He brought Pete in, and what Tiffin Hall did, knowing burros like he did for wherever he learned it, he built the sandwich board, placed it on Pete, and just turned Pete loose in the morning to wander the streets of Fort Worth with Mexican Inn advertised. Every day at 3 o'clock, Pete returned to the Mexican Inn, waiting on some crimped oats and some fresh water. Did it every day. Never had to turn him out or turn him in. Just put the sandwich board on, Pete knew what to do. Okay. Says, I'm going to go down and flirt with the girls at the courthouse. See you later. That's what he did. So, and I tell people about that. And I said, that's not true. I said, well, ask yourself, is it true or is it bullshit? I guess we'll never know. Folks, I hope to see you again.
David, fill in the blank, Ellis. Thank you, David. I think it's time for another song. Let's get Darren back out here. Well, Darren, what are you going to play for us this time?
Well, I figured I'd expand on his bullshit story. And being stuck in standby at the airport's bullshit. So I had some time to work on a song while I was in Denver for 2 days at the airport.
Ladies and gentlemen, Darren Kopetich. Thank you, Darren. Music has been the driving force in my life for, well, most of all my adult life. And through music, I've been able to meet some fabulous people and travel the world, see things. And I saw a bumper sticker down in New Orleans one time. We were playing the jazz festival down there, and it said, "Music is the universal language of the world." And it is. You can go any place, in any society, any country, and if it's got a beat and it swings, it's just an expression of what the locals are doing. It's their language. And language is how we communicate, whether it's verbally, telling stories, or through our art, music, visual arts. And, you know, you get to thinking about our ancestors. What was the first thing that they said? Well, it's really probably not important, but as it developed, it turned into telling stories. From, oh, you know, don't go over there, to how they tracked down single-handedly and killed a mammoth. I'm sure that was probably, you know, as David would say, one of the first bullshit stories to ever come down the pike. Sucker didn't stand a chance, man. Well, we here at the Wildcatter Exchange are trying to carry on this tradition of storytelling and creating a platform for new artists and people that have a story and give them an outlet to tell their story. And we're so glad you guys came out this evening. Now, we're going to have a word from one of our sponsors.
Your floors say a lot about your home, and often what they have to say is not too flattering.
Hey, baby, can you feel the funk I'm laying down?
Does your living room still have that disco-era shag?
Oh, don't be tripping. We still copacetic.
And how about the kitchen?
Don't drag me into this.
Is that old linoleum getting yellow and cracked?
I'm not old, I'm experienced.
Oh, brother, Jimi Hendrix was experienced. You just old. Can you dig it?
It might be time to pick up the phone and call Branson Floor Service. Classic, elegant wood flooring never goes out of style, and Branson Floor Service is the service to keep your floors looking their best.
Let's not get hasty here. Your grandmother loved me, remember?
Branson Floor Service are the hometown experts in wood floor installation, sanding, refinishing, repairs, maintenance, and custom design. Branson is committed to the quality of their work. They are experts in the installation of pre-finished, unfinished, solid, and engineered floors that will make your home look beautiful.
Hey, linoleum, I think we've been dissed.
Call Branson Floor Service at 817-334-0321 or visit their website at bransonfloorservice.com. Better yet, drop by their showroom at 917 Woodward Street, Fort Worth.
In the 20s, 30s, and 40s, radio was king. It was quintessentially every home had a radio. And everyone got in on the act. Zenith, Philco, Sears, Montgomery Wards, Goodyear, Goodrich, they all stamped their name on a radio and they wound up in people's living rooms. And when these things warmed up, those tubes got glowing, the music started pouring out, the stories, the old radio serials. It was quite an experience. The family would gather around and just have a wonderful time. And everyone had their favorites. I was talking to my mom about hers. And back in the day, one of the kings of these radio teleplays was Arch Oboler. He stood shoulder to shoulder with the likes of Norman Kerwin and Orson Welles. Well, tonight's feature is called The Dark. It was originally done in 1936 on the Lights Out program. So, for your pleasure tonight, from 1936, the Wildcatter Players will present The Dark. Thank you.
Lights out, everybody.
It's later than you think.
Hey, where are you turning?
The alarm said Pine Street, didn't it, Doc?
Oh, yes, of course. So why the siren? The only traffic out here is on horseback.
Yeah, you can say that again, Doc. It's from nothing to nowhere.
Okay, let's go.
Right with you, Doc, right with you. Said somebody was hurt?
Well, that's what the switchboard said.
Jeez, what a dump, huh? Don't seem to be no bell.
Oh, there must be. There's a light in there.
It's open.
Well, let's go.
All right.
Hello in there. Hello. If this is another false alarm. Anybody here? I'm a doctor.
Hey, look, in the corner. This I gotta see.
Lady, I'm a doctor from General Hospital.
She's screwy, all right, ain't she, Doc?
Frightened.
Come on, Doc, you want I should get her out of here? Or the straitjacket? Shall I get the straitjacket? No, Doc, wait, where are you going?
I can't get it open.
Huh? What's the matter? What do you want to go in there for?
I can't get this open. Whoever's hurt must be in there.
Okay, hurry.
Blast the door. Come on, we'll break it down.
But the woman.
Forget the woman. Come on, put your shoulder to it.
Yeah, all right. It's dark. Can't see a thing.
Yeah, go in the other room. Get that kerosene lamp.
But
Go on and do as I say.
Yeah, I'll get it. Here, Doc, the lamp.
Okay, hold it high.
Yeah. What?
Oh, Mother in heaven.
What? On the floor, what is it?
A man.
Oh, no, it can't be. I tell you, it can't be.
Oh, yes, it's a man. It's a man, and he's been turned inside out.
Inside out?
Here, see for yourself. It's a man, but the skin is the inside. The raw flesh is the outside. Organs hanging.
Yeah.
It's a miracle. A man turned inside out, like you turn a glove inside out.
It's alive. It's alive.
Yes.
It's alive.
Yes.
Doc, it's trying to get up.
Oh, no.
It's trying to get up. I tell you, it's trying to move.
Sam, hold that light high.
Now, watch. Look at Doc. Oh, stop it. We're trying to get
Stop.
up. It's trying to
Stop
get
that.
up. Trying to get up. Get up on its knees. Doc, make it stop. Kill it. Do something. A man can't live inside
Sam,
out.
stop it. Stop it, I say. Hysterical old woman, that's what you are. Now stand there and shut up.
Listen to him. Listen to him. Let's get out of here, Doc, please.
Don't be a fool. We've got to find out, Sam. Why? What? Look, there's another door.
Yeah, open.
The answer might be in there.
Doc, don't. We've got to.
The lantern.
Gee.
Bring it.
Doc, why can't we just go?
Hold it high.
Doc, what?
Don't move. There's no floor in there.
I don't see nothing but dark.
Well, look, the dark sort of spills over on the edges.
Huh?
Well, look, I tell you, it's a deeper dark than dark. There's something moving in there.
Doc, close the door.
No, wait.
Then I'll close it.
Oh, you fool. I've got to see what... She's coming in here.
Come on, Doc, let's get out of here.
No, Sam. I'm going to find out what this is all about. All my life things have been what they've been. I'm going to find out all about this.
Please, Doc, please, let's get out of here.
Woman, if you know anything, tell me. What was it we saw back at that door where the floor should have been? Do you know?
She's going to the door. She's going to open it.
Yes.
Oh, Doc, will you listen to me? Let's get out of here.
No, wait. She's just standing there, looking into the dark.
Yeah. Doc, what's that coming up out of the hole in the
The dark.
It's like black smoke. Listen to it. Reaching up to her.
Yes.
What is it? Smoke? Black? What?
Crawling up around her.
It's covering her. Inside out. It turned her inside out.
Sam, get up. Sam, open your eyes. The shadows, they're crawling along the floor toward us. Come on, Sam, come on. Oh, Sam, you're too heavy. I can't lift you. Sam, you've got to hear me. The shadows, they're crawling toward me along the floor. I can't leave you here. You saw what they did to her. Look at her. Inside out. A woman inside out. Oh, Sam. I'll drag you out of here. You're so heavy. They're coming faster and faster. Like long black fingers. No! My legs! Let go of me. Sam, I can't help you. They're holding me back. The black! It's covering you! Sam! Oh, Sam! No! You thing, whatever you are, get off me! Stop covering me! I've got to get out of here. I've got to tell them all about you. I've got to tell everybody there's something like you loose in the world. I've got to warn everybody. Get off me! Cold! Slimy! How can shadows be slimy and so cold? They're covering me over. My head, let go. My face, my mouth, let go.
You have been listening to The Dark. Lights Out, written especially for radio by Arch Obler, comes to you each Wednesday from our Chicago studios. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Could you imagine back in the 30s hearing that on the radio? You just want to pull the covers up over your head. Arch Obler was very influential and inspired Rod Serling in the Night Gallery and the Twilight Zone, as you can see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been our pleasure to be with you this evening, and we hope that you will visit us at wildcatterexchange.org. And thank you, studio audience, for being here, and those of you that will hear this through whatever means of broadcast in your little iPod headphones. Thank you for sharing your time with us. We hope we've entertained you and maybe informed you about some things. And I'd like to personally thank all the artists and cast that came out this evening. Ken Shimamoto, playing guitar. Darren Kovacic, also playing guitar. John Parker. Yeah, you guys can come out. All of you, please. Rob Vasquez and Susan Ridgely. Shay Golston, Josh Freeman, Michael Price. And your David Ellis. The real David Ellis. And where would we be without the sound effects guys? Ladies and gentlemen, Todd Camp and Doug Hopkins. Also, huge round for Mark Nobles. And everyone who came out and supported this evening. We'll see you down the road someplace. I'm James Sinkler. It has been my pleasure. Thank you.
What you wanted, yeah, when you come around. Wanna pick me up and take me to old funky town, where the jukebox is blowing honky tonk and they pass a paper bag around. And when the girls get up and do the pony, well, you know you're in funky town.